Happy Halloween. We've made it to the end. We are on movie number 13 of 13. We're going to talk about The Evil Dead. The Evil Dead is about Ash Williams, him and 5 of his friends, or is it 5 total? 2, 4, 5. Him and 4 of his friends go to a remote cabin for a getaway. Nothing about that cabin looks fun or welcoming or inviting. There they find an audio tape and an old book. Unbeknownst to them, the audio tape has an incantation that, when said out loud, releases demonic, possessive spirits. Who will perish and who will survive? It's written and directed by Sam Raimi. It stars Bruce Campbell, Ellen Sandweiss, Richard Demonencourt, Betsy Baker, and Teresa Tilly. If you look up horror classics, The Evil Dead will be on the list. That's how I ended up on this list, because as part of my movie marathon each October for the past now 3 years, I like to include the classics so that I can see why they're classics. This one, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't like this movie. It spawned a franchise. Just like 28 Days Later, I'm not the least bit interested in what happens next from here. The only thing I liked about this movie is the makeup that was used on the dead, on the possessed people. I liked the makeup and I liked the movements of the possessed. That's it. I don't like the way the story played out. I don't like Ash is the second worst main character in a horror film. The first is that lady from The Descent. I will hate her forever. She should have died. But Ash is so useless. Your man's is getting done up by his possessed girlfriend. You have a weapon in your hand and you're just in the corner shuffling. Just shuffling and waiting for your turn to get smacked around. Useless. He should have died. I find some of the choices made in this movie very creepy. Very creepy in a real life way. What was going on? What was going on? Sexual assault by tree. The first questionable choice on record by Sam Raimi. Then we have Drag Me to Hell, which he also wrote, where he made some more questionable choices. I am interested in these characters in The Evil Dead as archetypes. So one of the things I like about watching movies, and one of the things that I keep in mind, as I'm writing down my notes and writing my reviews and outlining my reviews, is how do these stories either uphold archetypes, aka stereotypes? How do they break them? How do they subvert them? What message is reinforced? Why does that character die that way? Is it just something creative, or does it align with certain messages that we get? Remember, for a while, I'm not tracking if this is still the case, but remember that trope that was prevalent for so long in horror movies where the sexually active character dies first or dies the worst death? And when I say sexually active character, I mean the sexually active female character. Remember when that was a thing? That. Promiscuous women, sexually liberated women get punished. Women who like sex get punished. Jennifer's Body did the same thing. I have a review about that. Okay, so our characters. So there's 5 of them. Let's talk about what we have. Okay, so we have 2, they're college kids. Okay, college kids, so aspirational to younger kids. So we have 2 boys. I'm gonna call them boys. 2 boys, 3 girls. We have 2 couples, two sets of couples, and we have one of the girls is single. And we have a nice guy, our main guy, Ash, and we have an asshole, his bestie, Scotty. We're never supposed to question why the nice guy is friends with the asshole. Those are the social roles that they're playing. We've got couples, so women who have, a man, and we have nice guy, asshole, we have a woman who's single. Ash and Cheryl are brother and sister. That did not come across at any point. This is not the type of movie where we're building these characters. It doesn't matter what's going on in their lives before or after. They literally just exist in this moment and for this plot, which is not a bad thing, and it's also not unique to this movie. The fact that the single woman gets got first. Okay, she had no man to protect her. She had no man to lean on to get his this is 1981. No man to lean on to get his his thoughts. The men, Ash and Scotty, were speaking she was basically speaking like they were the doubting Thomases, like nothing's going on, everything's fine, and she kept insisting like, I gotta go, I'm not sleeping here, I gotta go. So she had no male protector, so she's hearing voices, she goes outside, she gets assaulted by a tree, and she gets turned first, and then she gets put in the basement and locked away. So single woman goes first. Shelly is turned next. Shelly is the one who gives us the boob shot, so we see her half naked. She is the asshole's girlfriend. She gets the most brutal death of the three women. Now, she has a boyfriend, but her boyfriend is the asshole. I noticed that Scotty has no qualms whatsoever about killing Shelly. He doesn't hesitate. He's not sick to his stomach. He doesn't seem to remember who the hell she is. She turns and he's on go mode, and he's not only trying to survive, but he literally massacres her and chops her up into pieces. Yes, that is what he's supposed to do, but there is no care. Unlike with Ash, our nice guy. Our nice guy, you know, when his girlfriend turns, Linda, he can't bring himself to do it. He still sees her. It's very heartfelt. He's so nice. He's so kind. He's not a killer. Like, he still has hope that all of them will get out of there together, no matter how delusional he sounds. Like, he takes her and ties her up, and she's wearing all white, ties her up to chop her, because, you know, she's, you know, doing things the right way, getting like promise necklaces or whatever. He ties her up to chop her into pieces like he's supposed to, but he just can't bring himself to do it because he's nice. Unlike Scotty the asshole, who not only chops up his girlfriend with no care in the world, like he never knew her, but also is willing to abandon everyone else. He's like, F them, it's me and you, my boy, let's go. And Ash is like, no, we cannot. I don't think Shelly did flash us a boob, so that could explain why she gets such a gruesome death. But I think ultimately, I don't think it's a causation, but I think it's a correlation that like she flashed us a boob. She's the one who gets dismembered. The movie loses me in the uneven way it portrays the possessions, right? So here we go with the 3 women, 2 men, right? The women are brutalized in this movie, especially our girl Shelly, who gets chopped into pieces, but also Scotty eventually gets possessed. In the movie, Sam Raimi breaks the rules, right? He gets possessed, he gets turned into a demon. First of all, his possession is so slow. He dies very peacefully, like he turns very peacefully, and then he's taken off screen. We don't see him really, and when he does attack Ash, she just holds him up and like chokes him out. It's very demure. He's not out of control the way the women are. The way that Linda is portrayed when she turns, you have this demon spirit with this deep voice, very serious. And then when Linda turns, she is a shrill, childlike woman. I think it's very gendered. I think there is something to the fact that, I think there's a stereotype and a bias and a societal conditioning in the way that, like, the women, all of them turn before Scotty ever gets turned. And then what happens to them, how they are handled, depending on which guy they belong to. There's influence there and messaging there. And that is what interests me about this movie, is just like the archetypes, like the messaging and who gets what kind of treatment. Other than that, 1 out of 5. I did like the way they were ultimately killed and like seeing what was possessing them. But that's it. That's the end of this year's October Scaries. If you have watched from video 1 to video 13, thank you for tuning in. If you're only watching this one, thank you for tuning in. We'll do another scary movie marathon next October.